So, Mark, at long last, the Green Bay Packers are coming to London. How do you guys feel about that?
Oh, we're excited. We wanted to save the last for best. So
Exactly, best till last, as they say. It has been a while, but I mean, can you sense already the excitement around the announcement?
oh my gosh, yeah. I mean, obviously, we've got so many fans in Europe, and I know we got a huge fan base in both the UK and Ireland. And I've heard from so many people, and they just keep saying they're ecstatic. I mean, they're just beside themselves and can't wait for the game. And it's going to be like a home game for the Packers. So we're
Yeah,
really
maybe just give it for a bit of context as people kind of learn more about the Green Bay Packers and how difficult it is to get a ticket to see the Green Bay Packers play in a game because Lambeau Field tickets, they're like gold dust, aren't they?
Yeah. Well, we got a waiting list of almost 200,000 people. So it's season tickets are hard to come by. Obviously, with the secondary market now, people are willing to pay an awful lot of money to see games at Lambeau Field. And then, on the flip side, we travel so well. I mean, that's really the main reason. There's two reasons that we haven't played an international game yet. I haven't played in London yet. We're a small market. I mean, by far the smallest in the NFL. So home games in Green Bay mean so much to the local economy that we were just reluctant to take a home game away. And then when we travel, our fans, they're everywhere. And, you're going to hear a lot about Packers everywhere. That's something we started a number of years ago. It's kind of the social network, but it really is true. Our fans are everywhere and they travel everywhere. And, we really, for our away games, we often feel like we have a home field advantage. There have been two or three times in the time I've been here, the home team has had to go to a silent count because our fans are so loud. So it's a big advantage we have, and really excited to see all the Packer faithful come out in full force in Tottenham.
Obviously, this interview will be keenly looked at by hardcore NFL fans, but there'll be people who are wondering about the Green Bay Packers as well and why there's such excitement. It is a historic franchise, but a special one, a unique one as well in terms of ownership model. Obviously, you've played in the league, you've worked there now a number of years. How special is it, the Green Bay Packers?
It's hard to describe. There's really nothing like it. It's a small town, and really it's a miracle that we've survived. But the community has rallied together. We're a community-owned team. We don't have a rich individual owner. We're owned by the community. And I think fans in Europe particularly can relate to that. So many of the teams and soccer teams in Europe have a similar structure, and our fan base is just it's so loyal. And one of the main reasons is that they have a stake and they have a vested interest in the team. Like I grew up in Buffalo. I'm a Buffalo Bills fan, but I don't own the Buffalo. I'm not a part owner of the Buffalo Bills. We have 360,000 fans, I think, now that are also shareholders and they have a vested interest in the team. And then it's hard to describe, but there's nothing like it in all professional sports, certainly here in the United States. And it's a huge advantage for us and something that we're really very proud of.
It certainly is a special team, a special feeling. I remember flying over Lambeau Field, coming into land at Green Bay when I was going there to call a game. And Mark, I felt like the whole plane tilted to the left as everyone was scrambling to get a look. I mean, it's such a historic franchise. Maybe some of the traditions can come to London. Maybe we could have the Tottenham Leap instead of the Lambeau Leap.
That would be great. Yeah, and that's the other thing. Obviously, the history and the tradition and the most championships. We've won 13 championships, and it's and then I think Lambeau Field is part of it. Just such an iconic stadium, and the great thing is when you come to a game at Lambeau Field and you sit down in the Stadium Bowl, you're having the exact same experience that fans had when they watched Vince Lombardi coach in the '60s. A great Packer teams, and we've tried to tried to provide the modern amenities that fans expect, the video boards, and but still stay true to the history of Lambeau Field and the great teams that we've had there.
What do you think about the growth of the game internationally, of which the Packers are now playing their part as the 32nd team to play in London? That's the full set for the UK and for London. Obviously, you played back in the day, Mark, as a safety. So, you saw, I guess, as a player, the odd American Bowl game in London and around Europe and around the world. But to where we are now, how impressed have you been?
I'm very impressed, and obviously I'll have a much better sense of it when we play there this fall. But it's been a huge initiative for the league for a long time. I think COVID set us back. Obviously for a couple of years, kind of had to put things on hold a little bit. But I think it's great for the game. And the TV and the packages that we have. There's really only so much interest you can grow in the United States. And, I think what the league and the league office has done from an international standpoint is, really shows great vision and something we're really excited about. I would imagine long term, you're going to have teams, located internationally.
So you really believe we could have a franchise in London, a franchise in Germany?
I think so. I mean, long term, I think, but I think what the Jaguars have been doing is kind of a step towards that. And I know that's been well received by fans in London.
Mark, potentially awkward question. I mean, we'll ask it anyway. I mean, fans are going to want to see Aaron Rodgers throwing passes to Davante Adams. Are you working on that behind the scenes?
So do we. Really nothing, no updates, but we're working hard on both to bring them both back.
But it is a team. If we talk about the team in general, the Green Bay Packers, it's a team knocking on the door year in and year out. We're going to see one of the best in the business, aren't we, in terms of the Packers in London?
Yeah, obviously, we've had a good run recently. It's 3 years in a row, and I give a lot of credit. We have a relatively new head coach, Matt LaFleur. I think he's won more games in his first 3 years than any other head coach. We've won 13 games 3 years in a row. 2 years in a row, we were in the NFC Championship game. So I guess you're right. We're knocking on the door. We're going to have to knock it down and get through to the Super Bowl, win another championship. But the other thing I wanted to mention, I'm really looking forward to seeing the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, because before they moved in and built their new stadium, about 5 or 6 executives from Tottenham, from the Hotspurs, came and visited us, and they'd heard great things about Lambeau Field. Particularly, they were interested in some of the fan amenities that we had around the stadium, the development that we were just starting back then in terms of development around the stadium, and had a great visit. And I'm really looking forward to seeing. I've heard great things about the stadium, and anxious to see what kind of things that they've added to the stadium, or they've included in the stadium, that might be similar to what we have at Lambeau.
Yeah, you can look at it and say, "Oh, that's familiar. I know where you got that idea." It is a spectacular stadium, Mark. You look at it. We've covered games there, the best thing I can say about it looks like a stadium that's been picked up out of North America and put into London. It looks like an NFL stadium, and another indication, I guess, of how far the UK has come and the NFL has come in terms of growing the game internationally, that a Premier League team like Tottenham Hotspur comes to the NFL and purpose builds a stadium.
I know, and they've got 2 fields, right? It's one for football. It's pretty impressive, and then it shows the commitment, I think, and so obviously the league takes note of that, and really excited to see everything up close and personal this fall.
What's the timeline, Mark? Or maybe you don't know. Maybe it's a league question in terms of the opponent, and is that around the schedule release time, do you think?
Yeah, I think maybe yeah, sometimes they may announce it a little before, but we know who our home opponents are. We would not want, we can block certain opponents, so we wouldn't want to give up a division game.
Mm-hmm.
But it's the number. I think there'll be some good matchups, and should be exciting. And it's I've heard from. I mentioned before all the people I've heard from Europe, but our fans here are really excited. A chance to be able to travel to London and see their favorite team play. It's really exciting.
Yeah, I think that's the exciting thing from our end was obviously it's going to be a great show and the Packers are here, but also the Packers fans are going to come. So we are going to have a little taste of Lambeau Field as well. We're going to give the European flavor to you guys. You're going to give it back to us. It will be fantastic. I think we'll get used to seeing that green and gold everywhere.
Big time tailgating, Lambeau Field tailgating. I think all of our fans, that's one of the traditions. We'll have some cheese curds and brats.
Absolutely, can't beat the bratwurst. One more question, Mark. Outside of the London game announcement, obviously preparations for the NFL draft, I assume now are ongoing. How important is the draft each year to the Green Bay Packers? Maybe just give us a little insight into the process to be able to win 13 games every year.
Yeah, no, and actually part of the process starts right here, an important part of it. I'm in Indianapolis now for the combine, and that's where all the top prospects from college football come together, and teams are able to interview them, give them physicals, do tests, and so we're knee deep in that. And it's the draft is important for all teams, but I think we're a team that really traditionally has relied on drafting and developing our players. We've obviously done well with it in recent years, and it's really the most crucial part. I think particularly in the salary cap era, where you're really limited in terms of how much money you can spend, particularly on free agents. The better you do and the more you hit with your draft picks, that gives you your strong foundation for your team. And the other thing is, with our collective bargaining agreement, the rookie pay is much more affordable than some of the veterans. So you can really, if you've got good players on rookie contracts, you have a chance to really have a special team.
And again, for newer fans from this side of the pond, Mark, expanding it out beyond the Green Bay Packers, the draft, I guess, allows a team like the Cincinnati Bengals to go from 4 wins last year to the Super Bowl. That's the beauty of the NFL. And maybe it stresses you out when you're working in it, but anyone can win it.
Any given Sunday is the old motto. And Cincinnati, that's a great example. And, Joe Burrow, and that shows in our game how important the quarterback is. But he was the first quarterback taken 2 years ago, was injured about halfway through the season. And so everybody knew he was good, but you weren't sure how he would recover from the injury. But what a year he had this year, and taking him right to the edge, almost took him to a Super Bowl championship. Was pretty remarkable. It was we've had a good run of really close competitive Super Bowls, which is great for the league.
Perfect. Thank you. Look forward to seeing you in London. Bring me a cheesehead.
All right. That sounds good. Thanks.